How's it going, everybody? I'm Jeff Slakey, and I am here to talk with Kamie Sawtell about homes, the home market, Mason County, buying, selling. How are you?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing really good. It's good to see you. And, you know, I talk with realtors all the time, personally and professionally. And these last couple years have just been crazy for the home market. Talk to me a little bit about what's going on now and the unique qualities of Mason County and kind of the areas that you keep your eyes on.
Sure. It's definitely been a crazy market. And I think it's kind of shocked people, even us. We're amidst a market that we have never seen and we probably won't ever see again. However, you know, statistically and what people are foreseeing is that it's probably not going to change anytime soon.
Wow.
So
how does that impact both the buyer's potential and the seller's ability to list? We hear all the time, you know, buyer's market, seller's market. I think, you know, it's been a seller's market as long as I can remember now.
Yeah, you're right. And for whatever reason, it has been a long seller's market. Typically, you know, we start to level off is what people will say. That's kind of the verbiage. We haven't seen that. And so for a seller, obviously the best time to sell is now. None of us have a crystal ball, so we don't know when it's going to change. But what we do know is sellers are making more on their homes now than they ever have. On the other side, on the flip side, for a buyer, the reason the prices are so high is because inventory is so low. Mm-hmm. So when the inventory is low, there's not a lot to choose from. The prices start to steep up. For buyers, it's tough. I mean, in the Thurston County area, we're averaging about, 5 offers per home.
And those offers, they come in fast. I mean, as soon as the house gets listed, there are people taking tours either virtually or calling an agent like yourself to go in and check these places out. Yeah.
And most of these homes, you're right, they're getting an offer the day it's listed. What we're trying to do is put an offer review date to allow for more coverage. But, some of these homes are getting 30 plus offers. So in reality, how many different types of offers are you going to receive? There has to be a cutoff point. But we're still seeing, 30, 50,000 over ask in some of these areas, these high volume areas.
If you're representing a buyer, how do you prepare them for that?
Good question. I think that's one of the main reasons people like working with me. What you see is what you get, but I also try to be very honest up front. Nobody likes to be blindsided, and the rose-colored glasses just doesn't work anymore. And so I'm really honest. We're going to probably get a lot of no's. We're going to have to put our best foot forward the second we put our offer in, and it's competitive. People are waiving home inspections. They're waiving appraisals. They're taking money out of 401ks to get into these homes. It's very competitive.
And then on the other side, as a representative for a seller, what are some of the ways and things that you do these days, either with technology or through social media, that kind of helps get it out there? I mean, how do people know that as soon as a house gets listed, to go look for it?
Sure. So obviously with the Realtor Association, it simulates to a bunch of different sites like the Zillows, the Redfins, and all of those, and the Northwest MLS, which is what we work off of. But for a lot of agents, including myself, I'm big on social media. That's where a lot of my referral sources find me because I do want my clients to get the best coverage. So as a listing agent, it goes on Facebook, Instagram. For some of my higher volume listings, I'll do videography, and people really like that.
For sure. Is that like with the drones and things like that? I've seen some of those that you've done.
Yeah.
So how has, Instagram is very a visual medium, and I mean, how has that changed for you when you started doing this to kind of how it's going now?
It's definitely put me out of my comfort level because I am in a different level of being on videoing myself, like the TikToks and those type of things. That's really uncomfortable to do that, but I've realized that that's where I'm going to get the most coverage. So I am having to step out of my comfort zone and really just put myself out there.
So I've known Kamie for a while now, and I've known her to have a great outgoing personality and bubbly. And how does that help to translate when you are talking with, being with either a potential buyer or a seller? I mean, you use that to kind of make the people feel comfortable.
Sure, I think so. And I think the relevancy of social media is where people remember my name. But as far as talking like this, and this is how I would talk to a client. And I think for me, I really want the relationship first. It's not a transaction. It's actually it's a relationship, friendship, that moves into the biggest decision of some people's lives. And so I think just being authentic and genuine and honest is really important to me personally.
And it's not necessarily too, I suppose, as folks are looking at their forever homes, which would be great if you could find that. But, if you're going to be working with somebody in this home 5-10 years down the road, your hope is that the relationship you've built with them continues, and they're able to then help you, or you're able to help them list that home and
Yes.
find into their next.
Yep, and I have done that lots of times, and I really appreciate my clients for that. I feel that when somebody calls me that worked with me 4 or 5 years ago, it makes me feel good, not only as a person, but as a realtor, that I did something that they liked. And that's the whole goal, is to, go above and beyond their expectations, and the friendship too.
There's a lot of agencies out there. I've talked with many of them over the years. What is it about RE/MAX and RE/MAX top executives that you like?
I like the family dynamic of our agency. So you're right. There are a lot of agencies, and everyone is so different. I think that, there's we're individuals as agents. So we work for an agency, but we're really our own business. And I think finding a crew that you really mesh with is what's helpful. We do a lot of things outside of the office, dinners and celebrations. And I think that's what kind of keeps us going when things aren't going so well, or when the market does dip a little bit. We want to build each other up, and that's what's important to me.
Your general area of expertise, is it kind of Mason County, Thurston County, the South Sound, or is it delve into commercial, or what do you like to focus on?
Mostly residential. I mean, I've tapped into land. I like the land transactions. There's a lot out here.
Yeah.
It's fun to work with people on the build side, which I do that a lot, but mostly residential. And I do focus on Mason, Thurston counties. I kind of go disperse myself that way.
And when you talk to folks outside of Mason and Thurston, and they're looking, you always have heard over the years of the slow creep down, either from Seattle to Tacoma, to DuPont to Olympia, or around the water and the other side. I mean, when you're talking with those folks as well, what are some of the ways that you entice them into Mason County living or Thurston County lifestyles?
People who call me that I don't know personally were referred to me by somebody that I've either worked with or that I know personally. And so I have found that they've called me for a reason, and I'm not really having to entice them. I am, however, working with a client right now who's never been here before, and they live in Atlanta. And so I'm really having to show them in our Zoom videos and our FaceTime, show them the actual area, talk about what it's like to live here, how it feels to live here, because people do buy sight unseen all the time, and it's important to try to express what we do have here and how great it is here. I've lived here my whole life, so I don't know any different, really, and I think that's helpful too.
And when it comes to that sight unseen, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about a little bit ago, where 5, 10, 30 offers come in on one house. People are just hungry to move or hungry to find that next spot, and it can be challenging.
Yes, the rentals are really hard to come by, and for these folks, they have to move. They're being stationed here through the military, so it's not like they're choosing to move here, and they're on a time frame. So we literally, when a house hits the market, we have to be ready to see it. We have to be ready to write our offer. We have to have our lender on board at 7:00 at night on a Saturday to write a pre-approval letter if we're ready to pull the plug.
So you're on Instagram. We talked about that. You're not quite doing the dance videos on TikTok,
Nope.
but maybe coming down the road. And you're online as well. What's the website?
KamieSawtell.com.
How do you spell that?
KamieSawtell.
I'll put the links in the show notes so you can click right to it for sure. Kamie, It's good to talk with you. It's good to see you. And it's exciting that this market is so hot and so continuously able to, benefit the sellers of Mason County. And eventually that inventory will get there, and the buyers will be able to kind of enjoy some of these great amenities and these great lots and lands that we have here in Mason County. So that's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was good to see you.